What's going on YouTube? We are back with another video. Today we have a classic. We got some military blue 4s. I believe this is 2012 release. So that was like 9 years ago. So these are very old. And to be honest, the shoes are bad, but they're not as bad as you expect them to be for a 9-year-old shoe. Like the uppers aren't really paint cracked or nothing. It's just dirty and creased up and yellowed, of course, for age. And then you have cracking on the midsole all around. And then look at the soles. The soles don't even look too bad too. There's some drag, but these have held up pretty good for a 9-year-old shoe. So I'll be using those to give these a nice cleaning. Then from there, we're gonna let them dry. I'm going to end up unyellowing them first. Once I unyellow them, I'm gonna go ahead and start to do the creases, and then I'm gonna start to do the midsole repaint, and then touch up the back tabs and the wings and stuff like that. So I'm going to be using a medium brush. I have my Rejuvenator as always. We're just going to go ahead and get started. So at this point, the uppers are cleaned. They're not fully cleaned, but they're detailed enough that they dry. Now we're just going to go ahead and clean the midsole and the outsole. Okay, everything's cleaned up. Then we'll these dry and go ahead and start detailing. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and I've taped up the entire shoe to the best of my ability. I've taped up the air bubble. Just separate the midsole from the uppers. Don't really care too much about the outsole because that's easy to clean up if anything gets on there. And I make sure I have everything that's nice and lined up. So what I'm going to do now is I have some paint stripper. This is what I'm using right here. And I have some in a cup. I'm going to be using a paintbrush. And I'm just going to apply this around the midsole just to help the process of stripping the paint. And once it settles in after 5 minutes or so, I'm just going to go ahead and use a nail file, and just sand and just file everything down. Alright guys, so at this point we're going to be taking the creases out of the toe box on the military 4s. I stuffed the shoes with a whole bunch of plastic bags. I got my cloth I'm going to be using. I'm just going to place this right over the toe box, and I have my iron. And I'm just going to go ahead and iron over the toe box. You don't want to stay in one spot for too long. You just want to go around and keep moving the iron so that it doesn't burn up one spot of the toe box. Okay, so I've got the midsole taped up, but not completely. I have the bottom completely taped up because all I'm going to do is paint on the white for right now. So I taped the edges and the bottom. I'm going to be using some flat white paint and a brush this size just to cover the whole midsole, with the bottom part of the midsole. I'm just going to go ahead and start painting that on. So I've completely finished the white paint on the midsole. You see all around, it's nice and smooth looking. Very good job on that. Now I want to go ahead and tape it off so I can go ahead and do the blue and finish that up. But before I do that, I'm going to apply a matte finisher to the white so that when I'm taking off the tape, or if anything goes wrong, it doesn't really peel off and it still is nice and strong. So I'm going to be using some Angelus matte finisher that I have right here. Regular paintbrush, nothing crazy. And I'm just gonna go along the midsole. Trying to record this with one hand, so. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it to the whole midsole. Let that dry for a little bit, then go ahead and start the next taping process. Alright guys, so I completely forgot to film the repaint. We went ahead and did that. The original color is a bit like lighter or darker than the original, but it matches it pretty fine. Everything's nice and cleaned up. Touch up the white. Everything just looks nice and clean as hell. Like, these came out really great on yellow them and everything. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.